This is only the beginning. There are so many things that are going to be so cool about this truck. We're taking, again, a lot of the old and putting in some new.
We're selling it!
I'm Chris Meyer. Join me and the Legendary Customs team as we take ordinary rides and craft them into legendary customs.
Hey everybody, Chris with Legendary Customs coming to you from Grand Central in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Remember, if you like what you see, hit the like button down below. Follow us on Instagram. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That would help us out tremendously. Now, here's where we are. Behind me is a 1954 Chevy 3100. Now this 54 Chevy 3100, normally we would introduce it all together and do a walk around and say, here's where we started and here's where we're going, and we'd give you a great idea of what the plans are. Well, this time around we're doing it a little bit differently, as you can see, because this man right here to my left, Tim, he has owned the vehicle for an extremely long time, and he started the disassembly himself. And when he got deep into it, he happened to come across us at about the same time, and he brought it here. So that's how we are here today. And what I want to do is, if you go back to my very, very first YouTube post, the reason why I do this isn't so much the cool vehicles, although that's a huge thumbs up and fun part of my job, but it's about the memories that these vehicles have. And with Tim, I want to go through the memories he's had with this truck. And there you are.
There we are.
How long have you had the truck?
Well, I've owned it, I guess you could say, since probably 1978. That's when I turned 16. My dad had the truck for probably 10 years before that, maybe, on our little 10-acre hobby farm.
Okay.
And so he drove it around to do various things around there. He would get grain, he would, haul hay with it, whatever was needed, go get lumber. That's why all the dents in the tailgate were there. 2x4s, 2x6s thrown in there.
Sure.
He didn't care.
So
that sort of thing.
So your truck that you've had since 1978, that your dad has had since the late 60s, was a work truck. It was a farm working truck.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Definitely.
Now, growing up with this thing, do you ever remember throwing anything at it, even though it was a straight 6, that it could not handle?
No. No. Eventually, he had a hard time climbing the hill with the hay wagon because clutch was very worn out. That was the only thing. He would pull 2 hay wagons full down
Square bales?
Square bales that you could lift. Yeah, he would pull 2 of them down the at 10 miles an hour. But yeah, and that's probably part of the reason the clutch went out. I mean, it probably takes quite a bit to get that much going.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember this thing would not stay on a hill with it in gear.
Okay.
The clutch would slip. It would. Yeah.
You'd see it at the bottom of the hill.
Yes.
Awesome. What is your fondest memory growing up and learning how to drive with this pickup truck?
Well, see, the nice thing about these older vehicles is, as a kid, you can sit in them and shift them all day long without the engine running, pretend you're driving it. And that's what we did. We sat in them, and learned how to drive. I mean, it's 3 on the tree, but we still learned how to drive. We used the clutch and shifted and pretend we were going down the road. I mean, that's part of learning how to drive right there.
It's so funny that you say that. You saw the 1952 F1
Yes.
panel truck that we
Yes.
had here. And that was just delivered yesterday. I got a call from Chris and his family, Jody, and they already went cruising it and stuff. But he said the reason why he restored that vehicle was because when he was a youngster, before 10 years old, he had driven the entire world that he knew in his imagination.
Yes.
Sitting in the front seat. He would get in and he would move the coon poop out of the way and he would drive that in his mind anywhere he wanted to go. So you did the same thing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that brings us to today. Fast forward 1978 to December of 2024. This is not going to be a resto mod. This is going to be a true restoration with a little bit of volume put to it. So some of the fine details that Chevy should have paid attention to, what they would pay attention to in today's world, but they didn't back then because this was a work truck. We're going to pay attention to those details and make it perfect. Now, 1924, we're here, we have this truck. Why are you doing this?
In 2024?
Or 2024.
Why am I doing it? Well, I'm retired now and I can do it. And as you said, I was going to do it myself. And I started tearing it apart and I got to the cab. After I took the fenders off, the front fender and the inner fender, I saw that. And it's like, I can't do that. There's no way. So then I scoured the internet and I found you guys and I really liked your website, so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, I'm going to say some things and ask you some questions, not to embarrass you,
But?
because when you grow up on a working farm in Minnesota, you do what you need to do to fix something up because it's just a work truck. It's a vehicle to get you from point A to point B and do work in between. So, some of this, have you done any repairs on this truck in your life of owning it?
Have I done them?
Yeah.
One. Well, no, two. I mean, the Bondo that you see there was done by me.
Yep.
That's how I was told to do it.
Right.
And you know about the one that she was surprised to see? The rear cab corners with the cement.
Yep.
Because that's what I was told to do.
So your father,
Yep.
because when you explain it to me, it's awesome.
Well,
your dad said, you need to fix that. How did he tell you to fix it?
The cab corners, rear cab corners rusting out. Okay, you need to fix that if you're going to drive it around. You can't drive it around like that. Tape it up. So I masked it up on the outside. I don't even think I got rid of all the rust. I might have got rid of the ones I could break off by hand.
Sure.
And as I'm taping it up, he's mixing up cement. He brought me the bucket and he goes, here, throw this on there. So I threw it on there and molded it, and after it dried, I took the tape off, grinded it off, put Bondo over it, painted it, and Bob's your uncle.
And there you go.
It's like,
So I've been working on vehicles. My first car was a 1963 Buick LeSabre that my grandfather gave to each of us grandkids to drive when we first got our licenses. And my sister Terry, yes, I'm calling her out on camera, was sideswiped by a semi. And the whole driver's side from the back door all the way back, and it's a 63 Buick LeSabre, so it's a 2 zip code car. It was just wrecked. And my grandfather was going to junk that car. So I asked him, can I get it? Can I have it? And he goes, you can't have anything. He made us earn it. So the junkyard was going to give him $35 for it. So I had to mow the yard, earn the money, pay for the vehicle, and then figure out how to pay for the repairs. But I started way back then. And it's funny that you say how you fixed it, because on the on the 52 Ford, that was the first time I've ever seen Bondo put over duct tape.
Okay.
The duct tape was put on and then Bondo over the top. So this one, tape was on the outside, concrete, and then Bondo on the outside of the concrete.
Yeah, the tape was taken off.
Yep.
And then Bondo to fill it all in and smooth it out and make it contoured right. And
Yep. So first time I've ever seen that. So here's
Well,
the
there you go,
name,
a first.
the legend.
a first for you.
So when this cab, unfortunately, is just too far gone. It's way too far gone. We're gonna steal some bits and pieces off of it and transfer it over to the new cab, but I think you're gonna get that cab corner back at some point.
Right.
Just the
Thanks.
corner.
Well, the good thing is you've already stolen a couple pieces off of this one
Yes.
to fix that one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm still getting a little bit of my cab.
Yeah.
So,
And the biggest thing that we talked about, so this has been a struggle back and forth, and the one thing that I have always said to people is, even if it's not the same vehicle, the memories are always going to be there.
Yes.
Nobody can take those away from you.
Right.
And this vehicle that we're rebuilding, that's going to go forward as your 54 show truck, that's going to create more memories for
Exactly.
you and the family.
Yep.
Now, grandchild, right?
yeah.
Has to be very, very good forever and ever, right?
Right.
Because this is going to become one of those legacy trucks or
I'm-
legacy vehicles.
Yes. I'm hoping my grandson from my youngest boy, Camden, who is a stencil, I'll try and see if I can teach him how to drive a 3-speed with this thing,
Awesome.
and then we'll see if he likes it or not.
Yep.
Maybe I'll give it to him.
There you go. Now, you have to be very, very good forever and ever and ever to have this handed down to you.
Yes.
Because this is going to be one awesome truck. Again, a true restoration. I want you to tell us why, because it's all about the memories. We're going to use the same straight 6. We're going to have that rebuilt because of...
Well, that truck that engine never failed to start. The only time it failed to start is when the battery was dead. So then we would just push it down the road, pop it in gear, and away we went.
Yep.
It's such a simple engine. Why mess it up?
Exactly.
I mean, all we have to do is take it out of there and go through it and fix it, and away it'll go.
Exactly.
I every time I wanted to drive it, I knew it would start,
Yep.
no matter how long I'd been sitting.
Awesome.
So why not keep that?
Awesome. Now, the last time it's been started, we just talked about this today. We think is 35 years ago?
Yeah,
Okay. So it's-
probably, yeah. I'm thinking 90, 91.
okay, so 1990, 1991, he was going down the road and the front wheel bearing went out, locked up, and he had it towed home, and that was it.
And that's where it's
Until
at.
today. So fast forward, here we are again, and I want to say thank you and your family for bringing it to us. And everyone out there in the YouTube land, I want to say thank you for joining us. And this is only the beginning. There are so many things that are going to be so cool about this truck. We're taking, again, a lot of the old and putting in some new, and we're just starting. And I want you to keep tuning in to see what he has done with beautiful walnut. And I'm not going to say any more than
Oh
that.
my God, yes.
You have to watch to see what he has done. And I'm not talking the bed. The bed will be walnut also, but he's made some pretty kick-ass custom stuff beyond the bed in walnut that will end up in this truck. And how are you going to find out about it? Only by tuning in and watching when we get to that point. Now, throughout the shop, there's a lot of bits and pieces that have already made it into a high build primer. And that's the first step of the body work to get everything really, really finalized and dialed in, and then we go to paint. So we literally just started this project, and I'm hoping in January or early February, we actually have a slim chance of being in paint.
Cool.
So, and when I say that out loud, it always goes sideways, but we're actually ahead of.
I mean, this thing is so tore apart now, I don't know how much more sideways it can go.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, there you go. And if we do this right, which we will, you have a 1965 Mustang at home that has a story of its own,
Oh, God,
which
that-
we will introduce
Yeah.
when we get there. But we will be doing a 65 Mustang for Tim also. But thank you for joining us. Do you want to close out with anything?
I got nothing.
You got nothing.
I got nothing.
So
We're
this
good.
is totally impromptu.
Yeah.
Nothing scripted, and that's how I like it. But yeah, thanks for joining us. If you have something sitting around in your garage that you've never gotten to, send us an email. We'll see what we can do about getting you onto our schedule. That's where it all starts. If you can't get to it in 20 years, you're probably not going to get to it. Give us a chance at it. We'll see what we can do. Chris, Tim, Legendary Customs out of La Crosse, Wisconsin, saying thank you for joining us and keep watching.